Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday?
Nothing. Except that eclipse kind of sucked.
Well, it was very cloudy.
Yeah. Around here, it wasn't. It was. My wife was home for lunch, and she kept running outside. I think it's getting darker. I think it's getting colder. I think it's getting darker. I think it's getting colder. I'm like, yeah, but you can't see anything. What's the point?
Yeah, I was in meetings, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I think I was supposed to look at something outside. But darker, maybe, where it looked like it was going to rain a little bit.
Yeah, it just felt like it got cloudier, though. You know, it didn't really feel like anything magical or mystical was happening.
Well, I certainly saw a lot of pictures and video on social media through all different channels.
I did watch several hours of the NASA live stream as they followed it along the path of totality. I am good. I'm glad that the eclipse doesn't happen very often because I'm sick and tired of hearing that word. I hope I never hear it again. Totality. Enough is enough.
Beautiful.
Also, Corona. Also, Diamond Ring or whatever the hell that stupid thing. Jesus effing Christ.
I have no idea.
These weather nerds, like, they got to step up their game. If you know this thing's coming around every 20 years, get some professionals behind the desk. All right, nerds? It was brutal. The NASA thing. As a person who broadcasts for a living, and listen, the fish was delicious and it made quite a dish. We all know college radio's not all that fantastic, right? You don't start out being a pro. But these people, it was awful. I was having a hard time watching it yesterday. I almost muted it because, oh my God. And they're like freaking. And I'm like, okay, dude, we're trying to watch it and you're yelling and screaming into the mic and it's overmodulated. Don't you have any nerds running the equipment back there?
Well, space and things and stuff, and
those nerds need to get one nerd that's in charge of the audio and of like the talent, as opposed to all the nerds just nerding out about weather nerd stuff. It was a rough watch yesterday for me. Maybe you, and look, the videos and the pictures were great.
Super great. Super great. Really, really cool. Also really cool is mid-70s this weekend. I can nerd out about that.
Oh, I'm all about that.
Yeah, me too.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Harley's coming out of the garage.
Yeah, look at that. All throughout the area. Sunshine and 70s on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Looks great.
Going to get to Shaw here in just a bit. What's new on New Release Tuesday? We'll continue to recap the solar eclipse from yesterday. Obviously, we'll talk about the NCAA men's basketball championship last night and lots of other stuff to get to as well. If you need something, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom and recapping the eclipse from yesterday. Obviously, we didn't see diddly poo around here.
We were not in the path of totality, so it did not get completely dark.
Well, we didn't, and it was very, very cloudy.
It was very cloudy.
Yeah, the cloudiness obviously affected everything. It seemed like maybe it got a little darker in the afternoon for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it did, but almost like just clouds were moving over. It wasn't like it was pitch black.
Yeah, and that was, the one thing that I thought was cool from watching the video yesterday. I watched the live stream, the NASA live stream for several hours, Shaw. The one cool thing was watching it go completely dark in these places where they were in the path of totality. I mean, like, they got a bunch of people out in the field.
And it's dark.
They're all out there with their phones and the glasses and everything else and their coolers and chairs. And then, bam, it's nighttime, like middle of the night. And they're like, oh, there's a bat there. Oh, there's all these animals coming out. And it's like, yeah, it was that part was kind of neat. But I will say that the broadcast element of it all, I don't know. Did you watch any of this?
I did, actually. So I was looking out the window at about, just before 2 o'clock yesterday. I'm like, well, there's not much to see here. I wonder I can see on television. So I just turned it on, and it went to the, whatever it is, the Spectrum channel, their channel. And they had people in Kentucky and Ohio and Buffalo, New York, and they would stop in all these different check in with these field reporters.
Yep.
But the reporters themselves, they had no idea what to say.
Oh,
this one woman,
brutal.
it's amazing. It's dark. I mean, that's the best you can do to describe what's happening is it's dark.
It was from just a strictly broadcast standpoint.
Yeah.
They needed to get professionals because these nerds have no clue how to talk into a microphone. They're talking like this. Oh, my God, the sun is gone. It's totally bright. They're completely yelling into the mic. Whoever's running the board has got the thing potted up all the way, so it's way overmodulated. And these nerds, they can't come up with any other adjectives to describe.
It was dark, Sean.
The solar eclipse, one of the most momentous occasions that they keep telling you how great it is, and they can't find any other words
to describe it.
Get a thesaurus and figure it out, man. Seriously. Yeah, I struggled with that yesterday because I'm watching hours of this thing, and it was the same nerds back and forth, and like, I told my wife when she came home for lunch, I said, these two chicks, the ones at the main space station down in, I don't know if it was in Florida, but the
Texas,
two,
I think.
well, they had a desk, and there was one gal who was doing most of the talk. It was like the Sweaty Balls Christmas thing. The one, oh, yeah, wow. And she had her hands folded like this, and I was like waiting for her to ask for some note cards in a mixing bowl. I was like, she had zero personality. And I get it, dude. You're a nerd, and you care about space and Uranus and whatever, but, like, come on, man. At one point, they even got Scarlett Johansson. They had, like, a little Zoom thing, and she asked a question of these nerds, and I'm like, all right, here we go. They're going to up the ante. Bring in Ryan Seacrest or something. It really goes to show you why Ryan Seacrest gets so many jobs, because these nerds have no business talking into a microphone.
How'd the flight go that was following the path? Do we know that?
I don't know about that Delta flight, but they did have, NASA had some planes, some jets up there, like monitoring with like actual scientific equipment and stuff.
Cool.
And yeah, that was pretty sweet. They had one guy in a it wasn't a supersonic jet, but he was in a jet, and he was trying to follow and then they're telling you about the speed of the path and how he can't keep up with it, and that's how fast and you're like, it's so slow, you know what I mean? It's like it takes forever. And
it looks like it.
But no, not when you're up there in a jet, apparently. And the cool thing I thought was, I don't know if you saw the space station, the international, the ISS. They had shots of it from above, and it was like this big, just black circle, like kind of like on the Earth. It was kind of neat. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I don't know where it was, but I saw some city where they were in the path of totality actually lit off fireworks at the moment of the eclipse, and that was kind of cool. You got darkness, and then skies all lit up.
Yeah, the eclipse around here, though, kind of a bust. Obviously, we knew we weren't in the path of totality, but we were hoping for better skies, and we did not get them.
I just wonder about those people who made long trips to try and catch the eclipse to only find it to be cloudy when they get there.
Not only that, but as a person who grew up in New Hampshire, I have a vested interest because it's, people were traveling up towards Maine to try to get there. You should have seen my friends from New England all
the
posting
road congestion. Yeah.
Oh my God, these morons thought that it's like the people that come downtown for the fireworks at 8:00 thinking they could find a spot. It's like, you moron. Do you know what time the fireworks go off? In like 10 minutes, dude. You're not going to find a spot down here. They got on the highway with like an hour before this thing's supposed to hit, thinking they're going to make it all the way to Maine. It's like, you dummy. The pictures of the traffic in New Hampshire, especially yesterday, were just
people
hilarious.
had to relocate. They had taken time off and were, trying to find it, and then had to adjust their plans, Shaw. But any other news with all of that? I mean,
well, whether you saw the moon completely block the sun, were foiled by cloudy weather, or weren't along the path of yesterday's total solar eclipse, there are still more chances to catch a glimpse. Total solar eclipses happen about every year or two or three due to a precise alignment of the sun, moon, and earth, and they can occur anywhere across the globe. But
I think
usually,
it's Greenland next.
Yeah. The next full solar eclipse in 2026 will pass over the northern fringes of Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. When will the next totality be visible from the U.S.? Well, the next U.S. taste of totality comes in 2033, when an eclipse will brush Alaska and Russia. And in 2044, one will cross Greenland and western Canada, touching swaths of North Dakota and Montana. An eclipse on the scale of yesterday's event, however, won't happen again until August of 2045. For the 10th consecutive month, Earth, in March, set a new monthly record for global heat, with both air temperatures and the world's oceans hitting an all-time high for the month. March of 2024 averaged 57.9 degrees Fahrenheit, exceeding the previous record from 2016 by a tenth of a degree. Since last June, the globe has broken heat records each month. Scientists say the record-breaking heat during this time wasn't entirely surprising due to a strong El Nino, a climactic condition that warms the Central Pacific and changes global weather patterns.
Climactic.
connecting La Crosse and La Crescent via an expansion of the Wagon Wheel Trail. Got a public hearing last week. There is one big challenge to the project.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's millions and millions of dollars. We're talking about a bridge across this channel of the Mississippi River.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's a lot of money.
Mayor Mitch Reynolds said they're working on getting some federal funding for this bridge, which is projected to be built in the summer of 2026. A person with a ticket matching all 6 Powerball numbers in Saturday's $1.3 billion jackpot came forward yesterday to claim the prize. The lottery ticket was purchased at a convenience store in Portland. Oregon Lottery is working with the person in a process that involves security measures and vetting that will take time before the winner's name is announced. The jackpot has a cash value of $621 million before taxes if the winner chooses to take a lump sum rather than an annuity. UConn delivered the latest of its suffocating basketball beatdown, smothering Purdue for a 75-60 victory to become the first team since 2007 to capture back-to-back national championships. The Huskies won their 12th straight March Madness game, not a single one of them decided by fewer than 13 points. Pretty dominant year.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. We got more of those coming up. Also, we've got Bad News, Happy Music. We'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. Got a text from Ogre. Said, I thought the thesaurus went extinct in the Ice Age. I don't know about that, but they certainly weren't on display yesterday, Shaw, during the broadcast. It was
dark.
Yeah. Even the Weather Channel's got that Jim Cantori guy. You know, they send him out and he's all amped up, and he's out there and he's got good description, and these nerds. Wow, it's dark out. Oh my God! Oh, I'm breathing. I'm like, what the hell is going on with these nerds? Okay, I get it. All right, it's your Super Bowl here, but let's practice. You got 20 years knowing this son of a bitch is going to happen, and this is the best you got? You ain't got one person at NASA you can throw out there that's got a personality? At least the astronauts were cool. They brought the astronauts out, these guys, you know, and they're like answering all these nerdy questions, you know, about space.
They're astronauts.
Right, they're super duper awesome. But like these other people on the desk, it's like, oh my God, who thought Pam from accounting was going to be a good fit? I don't know, but that person needs to lose their gig. Thank you, Sean. Sorry, ranting.
Cloudy in this area. Missed the whole thing.
We'll get to Stones.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to Stone Sour in a couple of minutes. Here's Atreyu.
Rock mornings. On air, online, on the app.
It is a Yukon coronation. The Huskies make history. Back-to-back national champions. Number 1 lives up to the billing. They defeat Purdue 75-60. They've done it again.
The NCAA Men's Championship last night, Zach Edey of Purdue had 37 of their 60 points, but only one, this is crazy, only one other player on the Boilermakers scored in double figures as UConn beat Purdue 75-60 to repeat as NCAA Men's Champion. So that's basically UConn saying, we know Zach Edey's going to get his, we're going to kind of let him get his, but we're going to lock down everybody else. Only one other player on Purdue scored in double figures. One. Yeah, it was a masterclass on how to kick ass, man. UConn all over Purdue. Ugly scene last night as UConn gets their second in a row, the first since, I think, Florida State in 06-07. So congratulations to UConn. Bucks were off last night. They're trying to figure things out before the playoffs get started. It's not going to get any easier either. They got the Celtics coming to town tonight at 6:30. Only 4 games left in the regular season as the Bucks start sliding into the playoffs. Brewers lost to the Reds last night, 10-8. Game 2 of that 4-game series is tonight at 5:40. And South Carolina's win over Caitlin Clark and Iowa in the women's NCAA championship game on Sunday had a preliminary audience average of 18.7 million on ABC and ESPN. The only sporting events in the U.S. to draw a bigger TV audience since 2019, that's 5 years, have been football, the World Cup, and the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. It's good for the sport. That's what the coaches were saying. It's great for the sport.
And speaking of South Carolina, they are, of course, back on top of the women's college basketball world.
Yes.
Avenging their 2023 Final Four loss to Iowa by beating them on Sunday for their 3rd national championship under Coach Don Staley. Sportsbooks think they're going to do it again. The Gamecocks open up as favorites to take home the 2025 national championship, showing plus 250 odds to win it all on ESPN Bet.
Huh.
No big surprise. They're losing a couple of players, but they're returning some really talented other players in 2025. So, elsewhere in sports, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, the NAIA, barring all transgender athletes from competing in women's sports as part of its new transgender participation policy. The NAIA, the governing body of 241 smaller colleges and universities, announced yesterday that, quote, only NAIA student athletes whose biological sex is female and who have not begun hormone therapy will be allowed to compete in women's sports. According to the policy, athletes who have begun hormone therapy will be allowed to participate in workouts, practices, and team activities at the discretion of the school at which the athlete is enrolled, but not allowed in interscholastic competition. The policy continues, quote, with the exception of competitive cheer and competitive dance, the NAIA created separate categories for male and female participants. Each NAIA sport includes some combination of strength, speed, and stamina, providing competitive advantages for male student athletes. As a result, the NAIA policy for transgender student athletes applies to all sports except for competitive cheer and competitive dance, which are open to all students. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get back to Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom in just a bit. We'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday.
It looks like we've got clouds throughout the valley all the way up from La Crosse to Eau Claire. At least for the morning, some of that will break up by this afternoon. It looks like mid-50s. Might see a peak of sun, later in the day, but then the weekend gets real nice for everyone. In the 70s with sunshine Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Looks like a beautiful weekend for all intents and purposes.
Yay. Can't wait. Beartooth in a few.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Does seeing the sun today leave you feeling depressed? You may be suffering from post-eclipse letdown disorder, a condition that affects anyone who enjoyed yesterday's sudden darkness. Fortunately, there's a cure. Introducing your eyelids. Thanks to these two pieces of skin, you can have darkness wherever you are, whenever you want. Just close your eyes and voila! It's your own personal eclipse. Sometimes they'll close on their own for a surprise eclipse, like when you watch golf on TV. Or listen to your spouse gripe about work. Your eyelids. Don't let the sun bring you down.
By the way.
Yes, tell me.
This is similar to when it's foggy out as a radio guy, right? Anytime it's foggy, I've been doing radio for 25, whatever years it's been. Gene, Shaw, the same thing. Whenever it's foggy, we get emails, we get texts, we get calls from people. Hey, could you remind people to turn their lights on, blah, blah, blah.
It's a good reminder.
I could, yeah, that's great. Stick it up your ass because it doesn't matter because people are stupid. I could say, turn your lights on over and over and over again, Shaw, like a broken record. Just repeat for 3 hours straight on a foggy morning, and it wouldn't make a lick of difference because people are morons. Do you know how many times they told you not to look directly at the sun yesterday? They told you for weeks not to look directly at it, right? While Google searches for "my eyes hurt" skyrocketed right after the eclipse ended.
Yeah, and it was right along the path of totality where all those questions came in.
They peaked around 3:20 p.m. just as the eclipse was maxing out on the East Coast. Also, searches for "why do my eyes hurt" up. Because people are morons.
The eclipse?
Because people are stupid, and we cannot fix that. I have committed myself to this fact. We cannot fix stupidity. It is not going to get fixed. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do. It doesn't matter how many times you tell people to turn their lights on the radio when it's foggy out. They will not turn their lights on. They're stupid. People are morons, Shaw. And they're so dumb that you could tell them for weeks not to stare directly at the sun. You could show them all the different glasses and the boxes and the
Why do my eyes hurt?
And they'll still stare directly at that son of a bitch. Because they're morons.
So I didn't see anything. Obviously, we didn't hear. But when it went dark and you could see the video footage from other places, it was really cool. I have to admit.
For about 4.5 minutes.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was like, wow, it really is like dark.
Some other eclipse news of note. A woman, you might have this one later, Sean. I apologize if you do. A woman in Florida, #Florida woman.
What?
Apparently shot at cars on the highway and blamed it on the eclipse.
Yeah, God told her to.
She hit 2 people, but luckily no one died. She had just checked out of a hotel. She told the staff that she was going on a shooting spree. And then she said God told her because of the eclipse. She's now facing attempted murder charges.
Ugh.
Biden, of course, trolling Trump yesterday for staring straight into the last eclipse in 2017. Biden's official Twitter account posted a video of him standing in the same spot with the eclipse glasses on. In the voiceover, he said, "Enjoy the eclipse, but play it safe. Don't be silly." Trump had his own eclipse video show, of course. And instead of the moon, it was a silhouette of Trump's head passing in front.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Passing in front of the sun. The caption said, "The most important event in human history is coming."
It was his
the
noggin.
2024 election.
His big noggin was blocking out the sun.
And yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, NASA did post some footage from the space station of the full shadow passing over the
That's
Earth shot,
cool.
which was really neat.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
That part, to me, I thought was really cool. And as we mentioned earlier, the next one, the big one in the U.S., is 2045, so we got to wait a while. But
Yeah.
if you book your tickets now, you could head to Greenland in 2 years to see the next one.
Hope it's not cloudy.
Yeah. Well, again, not in the path of totality. I'd be bummed if we were in the path of totality and we were going to get that whole, 4.5 minutes of complete darkness, and we didn't get it because it was cloudy. I mean, you still get it, right?
Oh, yeah, it still gets dark, and the temperature
But you wouldn't be
drops
able to
and all
see
of
it
that
as-
stuff.
See the outline of the sun.
But, yeah, that would suck.
The yellow one is the sun.
Well, I hope people who traveled all those miles got a good look at
I
it.
do
after all
too.
this.
I do
The
too.
other thing that was neat yesterday that I didn't know was that in certain parts where it was clear and you could see the entire thing, you could also see other planets.
Yes, Venus.
And Mars, even
Yes.
Jupiter, and there was a comet that was available as well. I didn't see a lot of that in the coverage, but they were talking about that on the pregame stuff yesterday on the NASA live stream show about how some of the other kind of unique things that you might be able to see because of the solar eclipse yesterday.
We have a coworker who was down in Missouri, and she has photos that are of the eclipse, and you can clearly see Venus in those, which I think is
cool.
really neat. Really neat.
Can we see Uranus as well, or
I
is
just
that not
saw Venus. I didn't see
Okay.
that. No.
What else is going on, Shaw?
We could find out who the new lacrosse school board members are at some point later today. The district's board of canvassers will resume sorting through the votes at 9 o'clock this morning at the Hogan Administrative Center. Because only 2 candidates were on the ballot for 3 open seats, the write-ins need to be counted before they can fill out the board. There were more than 20,000 votes cast in the election. Almost 30% of those went to Tim Alberts, while Adam Manka received nearly 22%. The rest of the 48% of the votes, some 9,700 ballots, went to write-in candidates, in which there were 7 registered within the district. They hope to be able to announce the winners by the end of the day. President Joe Biden said yesterday more than 30 million borrowers would see life-changing relief from his new plan to ease their student loan debt burdens, a fresh attempt by the president to follow through on a campaign pledge that could buoy his standing with younger voters. He detailed the initiative, which has been in the works for months, during a trip to Madison yesterday. Biden said he wanted to give everybody a fair shot and the freedom to chase their dreams, as he lamented the rising costs of higher education. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers vetoed a Republican bill that would have allowed 14 and 15-year-olds in Wisconsin to work without getting consent from their parents or a state permit. Evers vetoed the bill that passed the legislature with all Republicans in support and Democrats against. The proposal came amid a wider push by state lawmakers to roll back child labor laws, and despite the efforts of federal investigators to crack down on a surge in child labor violations nationally. Evers said he vetoed the bill because he objected to eliminating a process that ensures children are protected from employers who may exploit them or subject them to dangerous conditions. Republicans do not have the votes to override the veto. Senator Rob Coles, the longest-serving incumbent in the Wisconsin legislature, has announced that he will retire rather than run in a district that is now more favorable to Democrats or move under new district boundaries that will take effect in November. The 73-year-old Coles had originally said he planned to move and run again to represent the bulk of the district that he currently serves that's more Republican. He was first elected to the Senate in 1982. And the Milwaukee Bucks roller coaster season has hit a speed bump with the playoffs now less than 2 weeks away. The Bucks have lost 4 straight games and 6 of their past 7, and they're just 15 and 17 under Coach Doc Rivers. Although Milwaukee has a one-game lead over the Magic and Knicks in the race for the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs behind the Celtics, the Bucks could be facing another early exit if they don't turn things around.
Well, and they got the Celtics coming in tonight. And the Celtics are, even though they've got everything locked up, best record, number 1 seed, nothing to play for, they're still rolling people, man. It's not, it could be a bloodbath tonight in Milwaukee. Could be an absolute bloodbath. And I have friends who said they're playing for a different seed so they can take an easier route to the Eastern Conference Championship. Do you think that's a factor?
I had not heard that, but maybe. There's just 4 regular seasons left now, and all are against playoff-bound teams. And the teams they've been losing to are teams that, based on their records, they should have beaten.
Yeah. All right. Shaw in the newsroom, thanks again. Three-way. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get back to him in a bit. We'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. You can get in touch with us by visiting rockmornings.com. It's Slipknot.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
That, of course, is Slipknot with Psycho Social. That'll wake you up in the morning.
It will.
Got some Five Finger Death Punch on the way. Not too bad. Hopefully into the 60s today.
It looks like we're on the... You know what I mean? Like, it's getting better all week long. 60s, 70s.
Well, there is going to be some rain, I think, on Thursday, and it's going to cool off a little bit. But
not that bad.
Back into the 70s this weekend with some sunshine.
60s,
significant amounts of sunshine.
Upper 60s, 50s, a little bit of rain, as you mentioned, and some wind on Thursday, but then 70, 73, 70. I'll take it.
As I mentioned, we'll get to Five Finger Death Punch in a couple of minutes. Let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. And, of course, we'll get back to Shaw for more Three-Ways and Bad News Happy Music. If you need something or if you want to listen to the program online, you can visit our website, rockmornings.com. You can also check out our daily podcast right there at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Five Finger Death Punch, Wrong Side of Heaven. Was Otis excited to see you when he got home?
Oh, my gosh. Both of them.
Junie?
A lot of kind of crying almost, with happiness. Not like sad, but...
So much emotion, don't know what to do.
Yes.
I saw them on Easter weekend. They were at the Easter egg hunt for dogs.
I know.
We went over and we brought our dogs and we saw your dogs.
Apparently they didn't understand the concept of the game.
Oh, my dogs had no idea.
Yeah. They were supposed to go around and look for the eggs with the treats in them, but apparently
once the treat came out, Fenway was all about it.
Sure.
But Fenway still didn't understand that, I got to find the egg to get the treat. She just was like, human, just continue to give me the treats.
You do the work.
Yeah. Maggie was just sort of like, whatever, man. I'm in a new spot. I'm going to sniff everything.
And there's lots of dogs and excitement, and so they couldn't focus, I guess.
A lot of overload.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dogs, do you remember Fiona, the 13-year-old dog from Alabama that spent 11 years of its life in shelter?
Yes.
From down south, has been in a shelter for her 11 of 13 years that she's been alive, and now she's looking for a forever home here in Wisconsin.
This is Fergie. She came from animal control, and they had to trap her. Actually, went to catch her, and she was about a year old when we got her, and she was pretty much feral. And she's just recently started letting us, pet her.
Fergie will now be called Fiona.
We kind of do new life, new name. It's a really joyful day for me to be able, to bridge this gap between shelter and her hopeful forever home. It's such a fulfilling piece of the rescue mission that we have, is to be able to provide that compassionate care at the end of their lives and just give them a really great retirement years.
Yeah, I know, right? So there's a dog that was in Alabama named Fergie that spent 11 of its 13 years. Somehow this beautiful brown
That's not even fair. That's
dog spent 11 of its 13 years. And I watched the news story, actually. I didn't watch the video originally. I read the story, but I didn't watch. Apparently things are really bad in the South when it comes to...
Like dogs in shelters?
Like, not just that, but like they're talking about like dogs are just on the loose, like running around, like not like wild dogs, but just stray dogs. You don't see a lot of that up here. You see somebody's dog get loose, run around, maybe
but
occasionally.
Stray cats,
but they're saying there's dogs in every corner. Like they're just everywhere down in the South. So they transported Fergie to Wisconsin in the hopes that Fergie would find a new home, a forever home, and that's exactly what happened, actually. Fergie has now been adopted, a.k.a. Fiona. They changed her name to Fiona. Spent 11 years in an Alabama shelter. Adopted last Friday by a couple in Wisconsin. Traveled hundreds of miles in search of a family. She spent 11 years at the Second Chance Shelter in Boaz, Alabama, before being brought to Wisconsin just a couple of weeks ago in hopes of finding her forever home. Initially brought to Albert's Dog Lounge, a rescue that takes in senior, hospice, and special needs dogs. As you heard in that news report, she was basically feral when they found her at 1 year old. Wouldn't let the people pet her or get near her or anything. Vice President of Albert's Dog Lounge, Lindsay Decker, said those dogs are often overlooked, at the highest risk to be euthanized.
Well, yeah.
Decker said that Fiona is only the third dog she's ever rescued that has spent almost her entire life in a shelter. 11 out of 13 years.
Yeah. It's cruel.
Obviously, the story made headlines over the last couple of weeks, and people responded. Carrie Saskowski said, I saw her story online and was just so overwhelmed with sadness that she was in the shelter for so long and no one would adopt her knowing how sweet she was. It was just sad to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, could we have the best life together? Fiona brought to the Saskowski family house in Greenfield, Wisconsin, a home that Decker, the president at the Albert's Dog Lounge,
purposely takes in older dogs.
Calls a retirement village.
Yeah.
Glorious yard, dog siblings, pet parents who are just going to love her and give her the best last couple of years of her life. Decker says, I really couldn't be happier.
Yes.
So Fiona the dog, who spent 11 of her 13 years in a shelter in Alabama, has a forever home now in Greenfield, Wisconsin with the Saskowskis. So all's well that ends well.
That's great. Hopefully she lives
a few more.
Yes, an elongated
proper vet care.
lifespan.
Right? A happy, healthy home,
So
right?
she
Loving
gets to
parents,
enjoy
better
this.
meals, better vet care, all that stuff. Yeah, you hope that it extends her life a little bit. So, good story. Fiona the dog. Adopt, don't shop. If you can, please. We'll get back to Shaw in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw. In the newsroom, NBC tonight, Password. The Bella twins, Nikki and Bree, along with Jimmy Fallon. Also on tonight on FX, episode 8 of Shogun. Stand-up special, Neil Brennan, Crazy Good, new on Netflix today. Also, Will Trent, The Cleaning Lady, The FBI's are all on. The Rookie, Good Doctor. Fallon, by the way, late night TV. We talked about this last week, Shaw. While Gene was on vacation. Conan O'Brien making his return.
Right. I saw that.
For the first time since he hosted the show 14 years ago.
Has it been that long? What?
Yeah, so he's a guest because he's got a new travel show that it's like Go Places with Conan O'Brien or whatever it's called.
It's on the other side of the desk.
Yeah, so he'll be the guest on Jimmy Fallon's program tonight. So will Nicole Richie. Freddie Highmore and Sherry Shepard going to be on with Kimmel. Stephen Colbert has got Maren Morris and Dimitri Martin, who has a new Netflix comedy special. And Seth Meyers will be talking to Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter.
Okay.
And also Neil Brennan, who, again, has that new special on Netflix called Crazy Good that starts today. New release Tuesday, the movie Night Swim, rated PG-13, starring Carrie Condon and Wyatt Russell.
Do things go wrong when they get in the water at night? Is that what happens?
A family moves into a new home unaware that
the pool.
that a dark secret from the house's past will unleash a malevolent force in the backyard pool.
Yeah.
It was all right. I'm sorry. PG-13 horror movies are for teens. They're not for adults. They're not for you. They're not scary. They have a couple of jump scares that might get you, you know what I mean? Some creepy imagery, but rated PG-13, Lisa Frankenstein. A coming-of-rage love story about a teenager and her crush who happens to be a corpse. Rated R, It's a Wonderful Knife. Starring Justin Long, Joel McHale. We watched this one. It was okay. Winnie saves her town from a psychotic killer, and then her life is less than wonderful afterwards. She wishes she had never been born. She finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe where without her, things would be much, much worse, Shaw. Also, Finest Kind, rated R, starring Ben Foster, Jenna Ortega, and Tommy Lee Jones. A crew of fishermen tread dangerous waters when their debts start piling up. And the Doom Patrol Season 4 and SkyMed Season 2. Available on DVD today for new release Tuesday. So not a ton of stuff. Did you see the chick on The View?
No.
Tried to blame the solar eclipse.
For what?
On climate change.
The eclipse was going to happen regardless.
It was.
Yeah, so I don't watch this show. I think it's stupid. It's a waste of time. If you want to sit around and watch these chicken heads yak at each other all day, go for it. But there's someone on there named Sunny Hostin. I have no idea who this person is. At least I know who Whoopi is. Is she still on it?
Yes.
Joy Behar, I know who she is. Sunny Hostin, whoever this person is, blamed yesterday's solar eclipse, the earthquake from last Friday, and the upcoming cicada breeding season.
That's happening because
on climate change.
Yeah, that's just because it's been 17 and 19 years.
Exactly.
She said, quote, yesterday on the program, The View, all those things together would maybe lead one to believe that either climate change exists or something is really going on.
Nope.
Does she offer
the cicadas
any
are just every 17 and 19 years. It happens, Shaw, that they're both happening this year, correct, and that's a thing. The eclipse happens. We know we know when the next one's going to be because that's how predictable that is.
Exactly.
Behar and Goldberg, by the way, pushed back on her, said...
Yeah, no.
Behar said, earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. It can't. I guess that's the simplest way to describe it.
Cicadas are underground, too. They don't know what's going on up above.
Oh, my God. I can't believe
when
these people are
17,
allowed.
19 years. Although that sounds
I'll
like...
just blame it on climate change, and that'll cater favor with the other morons out there that watch our program.
It does sound like if you live where those hatches are going to happen, though, it's going to be tremendous.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be...
Like
bad.
shovelable, like
yeah, like
shovel.
remember the days with the mayflies, and
like
you did get the snow plow out and plow them off the bridge. Yeah, kind of like that.
Like that.
Is there not a test, like some sort of aptitude test, to be on one of these programs?
They need that kind of.
They need the stupid one, the dumb one. Okay, is she the dumb one on the program show? Is she the idiot that they make fun of?
They need statements like that.
Unbelievable. If I was a producer of that program, I'd yank her off the program right away. I'd be like, no, you can't be saying that stuff. You're too dumb. Too dumb. The solar eclipse is because of climate change? You friggin' moron. Where did you go to school? How was the 4th grade? Thanks. Idiot. Anyways, that's what's new on New Release Tuesday, and that's what the chick on The View said yesterday, Shaw, is that the solar eclipse is because of climate change.
Hadn't considered that possibility.
It's our fault that the moon passed in front of the sun.
What did the astronauts have to say about the solar eclipse? Something different, I would
Listen
say.
to them. They know what they're talking about. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else is going on?
We may know later today who earned the 3 seats on the La Crosse School Board that were on the ballot in last Tuesday's election. Because there were only 2 candidates on the ballot for the 3 open seats, a large number of write-in votes were received. The Board of Canvassers started counting the more than 9,700 write-in ballots yesterday. They will resume that work this morning, and they expect to be able to announce the winners by the end of the day. The city of La Crosse already has a number of locations that ban overnight camping to address the homelessness problem. Now, several more locations may be added to that list. The city's Board of Public Works will consider adding 30 new locations to the list of places where camping is banned. That would include Red Cloud Park, Myrick Park, and the Vietnam Veterans Trail. The city recently kicked dozens of homeless out of the River Point district near the Friendship Gardens, and many of them have now chosen to seek shelter along the river near Bridgeview Plaza or on the marsh trails. The city could add the new locations to the list of where camping is banned at a meeting in June. It's a project that's been in the works for some time, a continuation of La Crescent's Wagon Wheel Trail into downtown La Crosse. But it's going to take millions in funding for a bridge to be built over the West Channel of the Mississippi River. Mayor Mitch Reynolds updates us on the plan.
We're hopeful that we can get some federal grants to get that completed. We do believe that that is a strong possibility. The vast majority of what's involved here is federal money to complete the Wagon Wheel Trail. Very excited about that, and that will be a significant link between the two states for a bike trail across the Mississippi River.
Construction of the pedestrian bridge is scheduled to begin in 2 years. Once again this year, lacrosse will be well represented at American Family Field. Explore Lacrosse Day will be held at the Brewers Ballpark on June 26th when the Brewers take on the Texas Rangers. Those tickets will go on sale on Thursday in a special promotion that offers $10 off the price of a ticket. The first pitch event will be held at the Moose Lodge, where fans can buy adult tickets to the Explore Lacrosse Day for $90. Fans who purchase tickets at the event will also get a free T-shirt. And South Carolina's victory over Caitlin Clark in Iowa in Sunday's women's NCAA championship game.
Everybody was watching.
Yes, had a preliminary audience average of 18.7 million viewers on ABC and ESPN. The only sporting events in the U.S. to draw a bigger television audience since 2019 have been football, the World Cup, and the Olympics. The audience numbers are expected to increase when Nielsen releases its final numbers today. Nielsen says its audience actually peaked at about 24 million viewers.
It's a lot of people.
It is, sure is. Good for the sport. Good for the sport.
I worry because now you're going to lose, let's just, for the sake of comparison, kind of like the Michael Jordan of women's college basketball, Shaw. I mean, maybe that's pushing it a little bit much, but I mean, she is a generational talent, right?
Correct,
Caitlin
yes.
Clark.
Yes.
And she's going to take her talents to the WNBA. So are several other great players.
Yes.
And you hope that this isn't just a flash in the pan, right? And that it goes south from here. And next year they're able to continue this.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to maintain these numbers, but I do think that the numbers overall will be higher than what they have been a couple years ago before Caitlin Clark burst onto the scene.
Yeah, and obviously, like, with the sustained numbers throughout the playoffs or throughout the tournament, after she had already set a bunch of records that she was aiming for during the regular season, say that that's a possibility, right? That these numbers are going to continue to be up there, and you hope that that's the case. Right. I know they're going to tinker with the format next year, right?
Yeah, the tournament itself, yeah.
Looking at not so much the format in the sense the bracket's going to change, but they're going to play the games.
Where they play the games.
Where they play the games, they're going to do some different things, try to reward some of the teams that finish with better records, stuff like that. So,
all right.
This was something they were going to look at next year, but because of the growth of the sport and the way that things are changing so rapidly, they're going to try to take a look at that this year, apparently. So.
Well, women's sports in general. I mean, volleyball. Look at the viewership on college female volleyball games.
Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get back to him in just a bit. Got more sports coming up in a few minutes. You can get in touch with us by visiting rockmornings.com. Here's Shinedown.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Stone Temple Pilots with Plush. Starting to clear up. Going to see temps in the 60s today, hopefully.
Yep.
Bucks were off last night. They're at home against Boston tonight. 6:30 tip. Only 4 games left in the regular season.
In Milwaukee.
Sliding, though. Sliding. Lots of sliding right now. Not doing well. Brewers lost to the Reds last night, 10-8. Game 2 of that 4-game series starts at 5:40 tonight. NCAA men's championship game last night. Zach Edey, 37 points of Purdue's 60, but that was basically it. Nobody else on the team scored in double figures, and UConn beat Purdue 75-60 to repeat as NCAA men's champions. South Carolina, the favorite to win it all again next year after just beating Iowa. And Caitlin Clark, favored at plus 250 on ESPN Bet. And it looks like, barring any major setbacks, Tiger Woods going to tee up for the Masters.
Really?
This weekend, we'll see. Sometime in the next 4 days, as long as he doesn't hurt himself, get the flu or what. Apparently, he's been abstaining from sex. Did you hear this?
I didn't need to, but thanks.
Yeah, I guess that was his sort of like boxers. They don't want to get the jelly leg.
Why do we need to know that about Tiger? Isn't he a grown-ass man? Keep your stuff to yourself.
Barring a setback sometime over the next couple of days, it seems like 5-time Masters champion Tiger Woods will make his 26th appearance at Augusta.
Okay.
Later this week. He's 48 now. He flew from Stuart, Florida to Augusta last Sunday. Spent some time at the club's practice area with his caddy. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like Tiger is going to be part of the Masters this weekend.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Gonna get back to Shaw at a few. Get to some Pearl Jam. If you want to get in touch with us, you can visit rockmornings.com. Got a text from Cheryl, said, oh my, the lady on The View is an idiot. Yeah. I don't know if she's a full-blown idiot, but that statement is idiotic.
Right.
Let's
just...
Doug says, The View has so many retractions, they should just devote Friday's show to all the BS they got wrong each week.
I just think it's something for people to talk about, isn't it?
I don't know, dude.
That's
how can you say that out loud and think that that's right? That the solar eclipse, something that's been happening since the dawn of time, is affected by climate change. I get it, dude. Climate change. You say it and people get all up in a tizzy. It's a thing.
Well, we know when the next one's going to be with the solar eclipse.
They knew back in the 70s.
This wasn't just
even before then.
Surprise.
Astronomers, guys who didn't have computers knew, and cell phones.
They looked through things.
Yes.
Rolled up paper and looked through it.
Oh, my God. I just can't imagine someone sitting around and then agreeing with this person and then thinking they're right because this person said it on TV. That's how it works. And some Midwestern mom is out there going, oh, did you know climate change is because of the solar eclipse? Blah, 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 blah. Ugh. Punk. Hit him right over the head. Pearl Jam in a bit. Stick around.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Pearl Jam's latest, Dark Matter. Another hypothetical question for you, Shaw.
Okay.
While you were gone, Gene, we asked a few different hypothetical questions.
Invisible or flying? Is that one of them?
No, one of them was who would you choose in a fight? Straight up fist fight. No faces, no names. 70-year-old guy or 13-year-old kid?
Oh, man.
Right?
So I can't know,
You wouldn't know if it's Chuck Norris or not, is what I'm saying.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. So I can't know if he was ex-military or...
Right, it's just 70-year-old guy, 13-year-old...
training.
Right, yeah.
Oh, man. 70-year-old.
Yeah, that's what Sean and I both took. We went experience over youth.
But...
I think we all have this grizzled image, or this image of a grizzled veteran old dude who just ain't going to take any.
Although a very large, young, spry guy who's, a football player,
look at
linebacker.
Michael Orr,
Yeah,
the guy from The Blind Side, right? Or DJ Burns, someone who's...
So maybe.
Yeah. Today's hypothetical question, Shaw, is your non-dominant hand. So what are you, ready?
I'm ready.
So you're left. Gene, you're left.
Uh-huh.
All of us are right-handers. So your left hand is replaced by a robotic hand. Sort of like Luke Skywalker, right? Inspector Gadget, right? What gadget do you include in your robotic non-dominant hand? You can have any gadget you want, Shaw.
If you're thinking of as like a pair of tongs or something that I can pinch together and grab things with.
Yeah, but you can just do that with your right hand. Your right hand is still there working.
Oh, okay.
You didn't lose the right hand. The right hand still exists. It has full function. It can do the tong thing on its own. But you can put any gadget in this robot hand on your left-hand side, Shaw.
Man, any gadget.
Any gadget you want.
How about a skill saw?
Is that a daily occurrence for you?
Yeah.
Man, Mary, if I had a skill saw, I could get some stuff done around here.
Oh, look, I do. It's right here.
Is that what you've been dreaming of
No.
all these years, Shaw? Man, if only I had a skill saw sticking out of this bad boy. People wouldn't be messing with me downtown. How about some of this then?
Right? Back up.
Skill saw? Is that really what you're going with?
I don't know. I think some choices.
I think you're thinking of a circular saw too, right?
Yes,
you
I
want the
am.
blade. A
Yes.
skill saw has got the straight blade, right?
That's right,
Yeah. This is your imagination at work, Shaw. You gotta run
Apparently, I don't
wild.
have a very good imagination today.
Gene,
what do you take?
I don't know.
Flamethrower.
I thought about that. That was the first thing I thought about.
That's a
But
good
do
one.
I really want... I mean, I guess...
Think of how versatile a flamethrower is.
Well, it shoots flames.
Well, you're in the woods. You're lost. You're freezing to death.
flamethrower.
You know how to get the attention of the authorities that are flying overhead, Shaw? Flamethrower hand. Pew! Set the forest on fire.
You do not need a flamethrower hand. You in a tavern with your gambling, and you're just all of a sudden, got a big fireball.
You're in a dark,
not having it.
Parking garage.
No.
And two men try to steal your wallet.
No.
Flamethrower.
No.
You're cooking a steak on the grill, and the propane runs out. Flamethrower.
Get that steak done.
I don't
in
think
no time.
that's
your buddy is trying to light a cigarette.
That's not for you.
And you care about his happiness. Flamethrower.
No, I don't think so.
A child is running around a restaurant yelling and screaming and being obnoxious because their parents are flamethrower.
Can it have extra fingers? Maybe more digits than you need? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
What the hell kind of sexual torture device are you coming up with?
I'm just trying to figure out, what else.
Can it have more fingers?
I don't know. Can it? Gives you.
You can have anything: guns, phones, microwaves,
magnets.
Anything. Magnet? What?
I don't know.
You can have a magnet already in your right hand. Have you ever seen a mechanic with a magnet stick?
Magnet stick?
You never seen these things? So if you're a mechanic, it's like a
if you pick a drop
it's like a back scratcher, but instead of a hand thingy, it's a magnet. And so when you drop a bolt in an engine, you go down there, you pick it up with the magnet.
Oh, cool.
You don't need that in your hand. You can just buy one of those.
Well, I don't think you need a flamethrower. No.
Guy won't get out of you on the highway, out of your way on the highway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not
I'm doing 85. He's doing 70 in the passing lane. Flamethrower.
Take a flamethrower to this place.
Yep. Oh, it snowed 12 inches, and I don't feel like shoveling. Flamethrower.
Let me melt that for you.
Oh, the driveway's icy. Flamethrower.
Yeah, but you can have a flamethrower.
Yeah, but you have to. It's so encumbersome. It's big. It's got a lot of stuff going on. You got to carry it around. It's dangerous. If it's in part of your robot hand, flamethrower. Pachoo, 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 flamethrower.
No, not a.
You're just looking for places to use this thing.
Pew, 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 flamethrower.
No.
Excess water. How do you get rid of excess water, right? In the basement? Flamethrower.
No,
Right, Shaw?
that is not. No.
I don't think they advise that.
No.
Flamethrower. Gene, come on. Something better than, can I have an extra thumb or two?
I don't know.
What else? You didn't even think of anything electronic. They're just extra fingers.
Well, maybe you could do cool stuff with that.
How about flashlight? You going flashlight? I know you like flashlights.
I got it on my phone. I got a flashlight on my phone.
How about integrated smartphone with touchscreen? So it's right there. You don't even need to do a phone thing. It's just boom, hand. Boop, 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 boop. Hi, Mom. I'm calling you from my phone.
From my hand?
My hand phone.
It used to be my flamethrower
because
hand.
what if I want to put it down and walk away from it? I can't. It's right there in my hand all the time.
How about powered screwdrivers on your fingertips?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Phillips head.
Yeah.
You get that weird star one that they use. No?
So it's a toolkit.
Kind of, yeah. It's like Inspector Gadget. Yeah. Retractable claws like Wolverine. Schnickety, schnickety, schnoik. That's got one real purpose, though. That's for maiming.
It comes out.
Yeah, that's cutting down trees. I mean, don't get me wrong. Adamantium claws are,
fighting other people. That's about it.
Yeah, but you can cut through a car with those things.
You
I mean, they're
climb
indestructible.
I guess.
Yeah, you just stick your hand
Climb
and
the
then.
wall.
But what do you do with your other hand? Your other hand's useless. Just a hand. Super strong grip. Would you go grip? Where you can squeeze things like Ash in Army of Darkness?
I thought about that because sometimes I struggle to open jars.
By the way, super strong grip. Given those options, by the way, flashlight, smartphone, screwdriver, fingertips, Wolverine claws, or super strong grip. Those were the options that they were offering in this Reddit poll. Super strong grip came in first with 46% of the vote.
All right.
These people are not very
Not thinking about the flame.
innovative, Shaw. I'm not.
They're just struggling to open jars.
Would you like a flashlight in your hand? No. I can get a flashlight. I got one on my phone. They include them now. I want something cooler than a flashlight. Flashlights suck. Give me a flamethrower. That'll light up the night. Can't set off those fireworks? Flamethrower. What?
Well, man, I was just thinking about lighting fireworks off through my hand.
Claws, by the way, did not come in second. Smartphone hand did with 20% of the vote. Then Wolverine claws at 19%, then flashlight at 10%, and then screwdrivers, 5% of the vote. You know what you use probably, more often than the rest of that stuff, other than the phone, is the screwdriver.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I mean, like the phone you use all the time, obviously. That's our culture now. But screwdriver, man, how often do you use one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Way more often than you use a circular saw, right, Shaw?
Never have to go look for the screwdriver. It's just always right there. The end of my finger.
You got to be careful when things are
that's
getting romantic,
annoying.
though.
Sounds
Make sure
annoying.
you got the right hand instead of the left hand.
Sounds.
Another trip to the hospital for the Shaws.
Well, you with a flamethrower. Oh, sorry,
Careful.
honey. I didn't.
Flamethrower.
There goes our bed. Flames.
That's all right. Just excuse to get a new bed. Flamethrower. How do you get rid of garbage? Flamethrower.
No.
Don't have to do anything with it. You got vagrants in your house. You got, what do they call those people? The people
Bed bugs?
No, the people that stay in your house. And
Squatters?
Squatter. Flamethrower.
Well,
That'll get them out real
no, you
quick.
can do that with any of the things. With the claws, too.
Come in there with a flamethrower hand, though. It's gonna change some attitudes. Oh, yeah. Oh, you wanna live in my house with me and my flamethrower hand that goes off randomly? Flamethrower. How hard can it? Because like Johnny Storm of the Fantastic Four used his flame-on capabilities to fly. Because the flamethrower shoots
like
so
I
much
see what
flame
you-
so fast that I
push
can,
you
like Iron
over
Man. Could I fly? Or at least use it for propulsion? Flamethrower. Telling you, Shaw.
You're sold, man. No debate in your mind.
I thought about this one long and hard. So you're going circular saw.
It seems,
Gene's going
seems
extra
like
thumb.
You don't need a saw that often, Sean.
you don't.
Are you building a lot?
I don't know.
You're not even a woodworker.
No.
I want to know about the fingers. Like, why did you think fingers? Like,
I just was thinking, is there other things? Like, can 4 of them be doing something over here and 3 of them be doing
so you want an extra hand, is what you really want. You
Yeah.
want a second hand to come out.
With
All that multitasking.
Yes.
That is the craziest thing I've ever
So
heard.
can one hand be working
You're a
on
loose 3 hands to take on more things.
Absolute lunatic. This hand can do the laundry and the coffee and the taxes, while the other 2 hands.
Yeah, it's not easy to get up there to get the cobwebs down, Sean. Now we can dust up there with the elongated
See, what she wants
hand.
really is the hand operating independently so that she doesn't have to be a part of that task.
Yes, it can elongate.
Can I
and go
take
over
the hand
there
off and let the hand do that work?
in the other room over there?
Right,
while
that's
I'm in
what she really wants, Shaw. She wants a computer robot hand
An
that she can detach.
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, I've seen that movie. It kills people. Michael Caine. Flamethrower. Oh, the water's too cold in the pool to go in April?
You're only thinking of things that that would not work.
I could think of a use for a flamethrower in every instance of life.
I know, that's what I'm trying to think. You're at the Breaking Benjamin show and you get excited and flamethrower. Wow, look at
Yeah,
what
it
I
adds
can
to
do.
the atmosphere, the ambiance.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need more pyro
Yeah.
at a concert?
You get arrested.
Oh,
That's
people
what
in the way as you're trying to get to the bar?
Arresting.
Flamethrower. What do you mean I can't get backstage? Flamethrower.
Now you're just a menace.
How about
to
the meet and
society.
greets?
You're just
Flamethrower.
Rock mornings on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is the Foo Fighters, Times Like These. Got a text from someone who said, I do a grapple winch. Sort of like Batman. Got the
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
the batarang with the winch.
Look
And
at
yep.
That's cool.
Pull your arm out of your socket, though. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Original thinking. Good
Yes.
thought. Unlike extra fingers over here.
Another hand. You see what
Then
I'm
say
saying?
another hand. You said extra fingers.
Oh, same thing.
All I
I
can
was
think of
getting
is
to
this
it.
like ball with all these fingers coming out of it. It's so freaky weird. Brenda said, I like the flamethrower idea the best. Brandon said, Gene wants a vibrating finger for a gadget. She didn't mention anything about vibrating.
I
She
did
just
not.
mentioned extra fingers, which has got a lot of sexual connotation to it. Jamie texted in, walking taco dispenser.
Like that? Like, oh, I wish I do. Like that?
So anytime you want, this hand just pops out a taco?
Well, then
Do
make
you
it
have to-
not a taco. Make it be anything you want.
$1 million. How about
Well,
a walking $1
right,
million
but I mean-
dispenser? I'll turn my hand into an ATM. $100 for spooky spins, please.
Loaded with other people's money?
Ashley says chainsaw like Ash.
Groovy.
From Evil Dead. Army of Darkness. Yeah. Jim texted in and said nail gun for me. Yeah. I'm sticking with flamethrower. Very versatile. A lot of times in my life when I could use some extra fire. Right out of my left hand. Flamethrower. Coming real handy.
I mean, why would you want it to be limited to just a taco? If it could be any kind of a food dispenser.
Yeah, but...
Like right now you might want a Pop-Tart, and later you might want a taco, and then maybe you want some fried chicken.
So then it's like, what is it, a cabinet or a fridge? I mean, how do you describe that item that can make a Pop-Tart, a taco, and a pizza? A restaurant? I have a restaurant in my hands.
Sure. The world's smallest restaurant, yes. Cup of chocolate, please.
Fusion cuisine is great and fine and dandy, but you're not fitting all that into your left hand. Travis has multi-tools, so he's thinking like a Swiss Army.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Like you can use that with your right hand, though. Be a little more creative.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll get to Rob Zombie and back to Scott Robert Shaw in just a bit.
More of your rock mornings coming up in just a bit.
Kristen Stewart is 34. Sparkly Vampires, right? That's her.
Okay.
Bella, isn't it? Jay Baruchel is 42. He was in a whole bunch of movies, including She's Out of My League, This Is the End, How to Train Your Dragon, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. He was also in the movie Goon.
What number you want to wear?
69! Take the number 69! It's hilarious!
Is that number taken?
Doug the Thug's BFF. Jay Baruchel. 69. You want to feel old?
Not particularly, no.
Rudy Huxtable from The Cosby Show.
Yeah, Rudy.
How old is Rudy Huxtable? She's the youngest, by the way.
Yeah.
Of the children, of the Cosby children.
42.
Close, 45. Keisha Knight Pullman, 45 years old. Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance.
When I was a young boy,
47.
my father took me
Also,
to the city.
is he the creator of the Umbrella Academy?
Is he really?
Yeah, so the show, it's based on a graphic novel.
Yes.
And I think he either drew it or wrote it or he's involved in it somehow. He's an artistic dude.
Yeah.
But obviously most well-known as a frontman for My Chem.
He said, will you defeat them?
Black Parade, no?
Your demons and all the
If my wife is listening, then...
That made her very happy.
Not really, not her favorite, but that was for her. She loves that emo crap. I don't get it, but she loves it. Kevin Martin, Candlebox lead singer, 55. Can't wait to see him this August with Bush, Jerry Cantrell, and Tim Montana. Copeland Park and Event Center. Going to be a good time. Cynthia Nixon is 58. She played Miranda on Sex and the City. She did run for governor, by the way, of New York back in 2018. She lost. Cynthia Nixon, 58. Apparently my wife's watching Sex and the City. It's on Netflix now or something, I think. Yeah.
Did she watch it originally?
I don't know. I came upstairs one day and I'm like, are you watching Sex and the City? And like right when I said that, what's her nuts? Kim Cattrall was at a therapy meeting with some guy and she's like, your penis is too small. And I was like,
you're definitely watching
I guess you're watching Sex and the City. Yeah. Dennis Quaid, by the way, is 70. Dennis Quaid, 70. 159 years ago today, 1865, the Civil War ended when Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. Also, Melissa McCarthy made her film debut on this day in 1999 in a movie called Go. You ever seen it?
I have not.
Ensemble cast. It's got, what's her nuts? It's got Taye Diggs. It's got Katie. There's funny parts in it.
Okay.
What's her name? The dark-haired gal.
I just showed my sister-in-law the Hidden Valley Ranch for the very first time ever.
She never
we
saw
were on
it?
the trip. No.
Wow. 11 years ago today, 2013, Stone Sour releasing their 5th studio album, House of Gold and Bones Part 2. There you go. Some birthdays and stuff that happened on this day. In pop culture history, we'll get to Shaw in just a bit and some Green Day coming up. Get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw in the newsroom. Got a text from someone. Said, how about a handgun for hunting? You really hunt with a handgun?
Well, it's a handgun.
I get that, but usually you hunt with a rifle.
Shotgun,
muzzleloader, bow and arrow. I don't know if you're going out there with a 9 milli, Shaw. 350.
Have to be
Were there other suggestions?
Blow your head clean off. Doc had a good one, I guess.
Okay, what's Doc got to say?
Doc texted in on the rock line and said, for my hand, I would want a dart to shoot out to paralyze or knock out someone who pisses me off for about 10 or 15 minutes. You're a freaking dart, your dad. You're crazy.
You're crazy, man.
I love you, but you're crazy.
You got a dart, your dad.
Travis said multi-tool. Again, I feel like that's something you can just have in your right hand.
Swiss Army knife,
Yeah, the you think of a multi-tool, right? It's got
the tiny, world's tiniest scissors that don't do you any good, that thing.
Right, or the toothpick that you never use. It's like, okay, how much crap is in here? The little magnifying glass that comes in there. You're like, give me stuff that's useful in this stupid Swiss Army thing. Somebody suggested a grapple winch, sort of like Batman. So you shoot out the winch or the grappling hook.
Oh, I see.
And then you can winch yourself up on a...
you could get to high places.
That'd be fun.
You can get away from cops if you're into that kind of thing. Flamethrower. Brenda, by the way, said that she likes the flamethrower idea the best. Brandon said Gene wants a vibrating finger for a gadget.
That's not exactly what I said at all.
Dude, the first thing you said was fingers.
Well, what I meant was another hand that could do more things. That's what I meant.
Right.
Not just like 27 fingers.
These 5 fingers aren't doing the job anymore, Shaw. I'm not a 20-year-old woman anymore.
What if I had another
I've got different
5,
needs.
Shaw?
I need 8 to 10 fingers now, Shaw.
That could do all the other things. Think about it.
Fingers. What do you want? Fingers.
More.
Extra fingers. All the fingers. Give me fingers.
Look, I can
give them to me. How many fingers you got? How many can I get? What's the maximum amount of fingers I can get?
I could be chopping up some vegetables while the other one is sauteing them.
An extra hand is what you want.
Well, okay.
Not fingers.
Well,
fingers don't indicate any sort of usefulness.
I'm in the wok, Shaw. I'm flipping my broccoli over here while I'm cutting up my sirloin over here.
Right?
Jamie said walking taco dispenser. Somebody said condiment dispenser. So you've always got ketchup, ranch, and mustard on hand? Literally?
Ready for any sandwich.
Is it any condiment? I could see that being like any condiment. You want soy sauce? You want duck sauce?
Mayo.
You want Duke's?
Ranch.
You want Hellman's? You want, Thousand Island dress? I mean, are we talking any kind of condiment? That's pretty prolific. That's a hell of a hand. Squirt it in someone's eye if they start messing around with you.
Mm-hmm. Can it transform?
Ketchup attack. I don't know. It's a gadget. It's a robot. Can they?
Can it?
I might go Optimus Prime, too. He has a laser battle axe that he can conjure up with his hand. You ever see that?
Well, laser would be cool.
Like a lightsaber kind of thing.
Yeah.
See? A lightsaber is just like a flamethrower. It's only more compact. It burns through things, right?
Yes.
Cuts through things. Gets you out of sticky situations. Threaten people with it.
Does it make cool noises?
Flamethrower makes cool noises. A lot of good suggestions, Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
Except for jeans. Extra fingers.
Can it freeze?
Wait a minute. Here we go. Do the extra fingers know how to use a pen or pencil properly so that people can read what you write on a piece of paper?
Not with my left hand. Are you kidding me?
All right. Then, no, you can't have extra fingers.
Shaw, that's not
Can we get you a
hand
that writes legibly? Can we get one of those?
Is it typing? Maybe it types.
Can we get a more quiet typer hand? Something with baffles on it that muffles the sound of your hammering on the keys.
Stop it. It's not that loud.
Oh, my God, it's so loud. When you have to say it's not that loud, that means you know it is that loud.
It's not that loud, Shaw. You can work around it.
That's Gene typing an email.
You're going to break things in here. Stop.
I'm glad your computer's on that side of the countertop, because over here, these screens couldn't handle it. All this new equipment we got, we'd be in big trouble, mister. Big trouble. What's going on, Shaw?
Well, let's see. We told you about the discovery of some human remains in Milwaukee last week. Now, there's word that one man is in custody after the discovery of human remains in a park in Cudahy. A severed leg was found in the park, and more remains were later found in a wooded area and along some railroad tracks.
Same body?
They think so. The location where the body parts were found is just a block from where a missing woman's car was found torched. 19-year-old Sharday Carlina Robinson has been missing since April 1st. Police have not yet formally connected her case to the remains that were found, and police have not named the suspect, who was arrested, but say that person will be in court later today. Who will fill the 3 open seats on the La Crosse School Board should be known sometime later today. The district will be canvassing the votes cast in the spring elections at the Hogan Administrative Center. In other elections, the presumed winner is basically known from the preliminary vote count, but this race had only 2 candidates on the ballot for 3 open seats on the board, and 48% of the more than 20,000 votes cast went to write-in candidates. So while Adam Manka got 22% of the vote and Tim Alberts received 29%, it's unknown if any of the write-in candidates got more votes than that, but we do know that at least one of the 7 who registered with the district as a write-in will be on the board. President Joe Biden says student loan relief will empower Americans to pursue their dreams without the burden of debt. He visited Madison yesterday to announce new steps to help more than 30 million people.
When are we getting home loan relief?
Right, exactly.
Because I took out a loan, and I'm paying it back, because that's what you do with loans.
Correct.
When do I get that money relieved? Because that would really help me, too.
No, this is clearly targeted to younger people.
It's buying votes, then, right?
Some are saying that, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The former owner of a northeastern Wisconsin dinosaur-themed gas station chain has announced a run for Congress in a heavily Republican district after getting the endorsement of Donald Trump over the weekend. Tony Weed, who owns 6 Dino Stop gas stations and convenience stores, joined the race for the open 8th congressional district seat caused by the surprise early retirement of Representative Mike Gallagher.
Representative!
2 other Republicans and 1 Democrat have already announced their candidacies. Over the weekend, Trump posted his endorsement of Weed on social media. The primary in that race is August 13th.
Trump endorses Weed?
W-I-E-D, yes. If you missed North America's total solar eclipse, or if you caught the eclipse bug, there are more chances to see the sun disappear. Full solar eclipses happen about every year or 2 or 3 due to a precise alignment of the sun, moon, and earth. The next total solar eclipse will be in 2026, when it will pass over the northern fringes of Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. An eclipse on the scale of yesterday's event won't happen again until August of 2045. And baseball's Hall of Fame will unveil a bronze statue of Hank Aaron next month on the first floor of its museum in Cooperstown, New York. And the U.S. Postal Service will release a commemorative stamp picturing Aaron in his batting stance wearing his Atlanta Braves uniform. Both announcements came on the 50th anniversary of Aaron's 715th home run, which topped the record set by Babe Ruth.
The true record holder.
Of course, he was a longtime member of the Milwaukee Braves before he headed to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get to you for bad news, happy music. How we looking?
Well, there's a guy that hit a wolf with his snowmobile, so he tied it up, took it to the bar, had a couple of beers, and then tortured and killed the animal.
This is disgusting. Yeah, in Wyoming, I think, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Not just tied it up, but like duct taped its mouth. One of those guys.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Put that guy on the rocket ship to Mars, Shaw.
No.
We'll get to more of that during Bad News, Happy Music. We got the friggin' sports coming up after Green Day.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
What are you doing on July 6th?
I don't, working probably. I mean, it's after the 4th of July. It's past the holiday, so probably working.
What day of the week that is?
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what the 4th falls on.
That's a Saturday.
The 6th is a Saturday? Hell yeah. What am I doing?
I don't know, but I think we might need to take a road trip.
Okay. Talk to me.
And go to Kenosha.
Goose, what's up?
Well, you've heard of the Kenosha Kickers, right?
I have heard of the Kenosha Kickers.
The Kenosha Kingfish are going to become the Kenosha Kickers on Saturday, July 6th with special jerseys.
So it's like the Northwoods League. It's like that. And
exactly.
And they're going to be the Kenosha.
They're going to be the Polka Kings of the Midwest.
No, but here you got a little bit of a dilemma there. We got a crisis ourselves. Allow me to introduce myself. Gus Polinski. How are you? Polka King of the Midwest. The Kenosha Kickers.
Hi there. How are you?
No? That's okay. I thought you might have recognized it. Anyways, I had a few hits a few years ago. That's why, just polka, 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 polka. No?
No.
Twin Lakes Polka, Damavuji Polka, a.k.a. Kiss Me Polka, Polka Twist.
Well, these are songs.
Yeah, some fairly big hits for us, in the early 70s,
Sheboygan.
Yeah, we sold about 623 copies of that.
In Chicago?
No, Sheboygan. Very big in Sheboygan. They loved it,
I'm sorry, did you say you could help me?
Anyway, I'm rambling on here. Our flight was canceled, so we got to drive. So, see the guy in the yellow jacket over there by the budget sign? He's going to rent us a nice big van, and we're going to drive to Milwaukee. Now, I heard you had some problems. You're getting to Chicago to see your kid or something?
My son, we left and he's there.
Oh, jeez. If you have to get to Chicago, we'll gladly drive you. It's on the way to Milwaukee.
You'd give me a ride?
Sure we will. Why not? You got to get home and see your kid.
A ride to Chicago?
Sure, it's Christmas time.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
You don't mind going with some polka bums?
No, I'd love to.
The Kenosha Kingfish going to turn into the Kenosha Kickers on Saturday, July 6th. A couple of different logos created by designer Tony Horning, set in the maroon and yellow that the band used in the movie Home Alone.
I've looked at the jackets before.
Features a combination of musical instruments and baseball. The primary logo is centered around a bass drum with the seams of a baseball on its skin. Clarinet crossed with a baseball bat behind it. The secondary logo continues Wisconsin's long-standing tradition of a clever baseball glove logo with an accordion paired with a baseball to form the glove.
I love this.
Kingfish will celebrate Home Alone night on Saturday, July 6th, when the weather is likely to be a little bit nicer than it was during Christmas in Chicago.
That is good.
You can, of course, go to the Kenosha Kingfish website to find out more about Home Alone night. Get your hands on a souvenir shirt.
They've sold hundreds so far.
Oh, yeah.
Of hats, shirts, and other gear, by the way.
Smart.
Good morning, Kickers Nation. We're working hard to fulfill the hundreds of orders we've received in 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you to almost half the country who's joined us so far.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Brilliant marketing.
Yes, agreed.
Kenosha Kingfish.
Dude, that one with the accordion is the bomb.
I know, isn't it the best?
Yes.
Yeah. Kenosha Kingfish turning into the Kenosha Kickers on Saturday, July 6th.
All right, I have to
go to their
shopping.
website if you want. Yeah.
Where's my credit card?
It's probably where your extra hand is. With all them extra fingers. Dawn's in a bit.
Rock mornings. Only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
On a Tuesday with a chainsaw hand. What do we got, Shaw?
Most of the time, when kids accidentally gulp down a non-edible object, it travels toward the stomach. In the best-case scenarios for these unfortunate events, it's a small object that can safely see itself out in a day or two.
Marble.
But in the worst-case scenarios, it can go down an entirely different path.
Lego.
That was the case for a poor teen in California who somehow swallowed a quarter. Now, the quarter didn't head down the esophagus and toward the stomach, but instead veered into the airway, sliding past the vocal cords like they were a vending machine coin slot.
Into the lungs?
No, they didn't make it that far. It was kind of caught in there. Doctors who treated the 14-year-old boy reported how they found and later retrieved the quarter from its unusual and dangerous resting place. Once it passed the vocal cords and the glottis, the coin got lodged in the subglottis, a small region between the vocal cords and the trachea. Luckily,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
When the boy got to the emergency room, his main symptoms were hoarseness and difficulty swallowing. He was surprisingly breathing okay. But imaging quickly revealed the danger his airway was in when the vertical coin lit up his scans. The teen was given a general anesthetic. Doctors used long forceps guided by a camera to pluck the coin from its snug spot. After grabbing the coin, they re-inspected the boy's airway and noted there were some ulcerations on each side that matched the coin's ribbed edge. After the coin's retrieval, the boy's symptoms improved and he was sent home.
Yikes.
All I have to do is swallow it.
Right, Shaw?
Yeah, be
Couldn't
careful.
swallow it, though.
Was he like playing Goonies or something?
I don't know how he swallowed it. It didn't say, but
Hungry for coins?
all I have to do is swallow it.
All you got to do is swallow it, Shaw.
This guy needed a better way to take out his frustrations. A man in Utah was arrested yesterday after he released some frustration by firing over a dozen shots into his wall where his roommate was sleeping on the other side. Police say they got to the room, saw a handgun on the ground, multiple shell casings, and multiple holes in the wall. The guy told police he was feeling bad about his financial situation and misses his child and was thinking about hurting himself, but decided not to shoot himself and instead fire 15 rounds into the wall where his roommate sleeps on the other side. Somehow the roommate was not injured. The gunman was arrested for investigation of 15 counts of illegal discharge of a firearm and property damage.
Ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah? No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
This guy did.
She fired it into the wall where my roommate's sleeping.
A Florida woman had to call 911 to get help ejecting an unwanted house guest, a nearly 8-foot-long alligator. Mary Hollenbeck was at her home when she started hearing some banging at her front screen door.
That's not good.
She got up to see what the source of the sound was and realized, oh my gosh, I have an alligator in my house. She called 911, ended up taking the combined efforts of deputies and Florida Fish and Wildlife officers to get the 7-foot, 11-inch gator out of the house. The homeowners
don't play no shit.
said the gator must have traveled from a nearby pond and forced its way through her door.
Yep.
It's real.
It's real. 8 foot long, huh?
Almost, yeah.
Pretty big boy.
We touched on this earlier, but Florida Highway Patrol troopers had to respond to a report of an active shooter yesterday. The suspect was a woman who had recently checked out of a local hotel and told the staff she was going on a shooting spree.
So they knew. Did they call 911?
I'm assuming they did.
We had a guest that left, and
I'm assuming so.
Okay.
She also told them that she was directed by God to go on the shooting spree in retaliation for the solar eclipse. The
retaliation, like God's mad?
Right.
Okay.
Driving a purple Dodge Challenger with Georgia plates, got onto the interstate and fired multiple shots. One driver was hit by glass fragments from the window and grazed on the arm by a bullet, but he was able to pull over. The suspect shot at another vehicle, hitting the driver in the neck. Troopers found the suspect and conducted a traffic stop. After the suspect was taken into custody, they recovered an AR-15 and a 9mm handgun. The suspect, 22-year-old Talon Nichelle Celestine, was taken into custody, booked on charges including attempted murder.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
As was she, apparently.
Just like Celeste.
Yeah.
Were her chakras not aligned properly? Is that the deal, Shaw?
Perhaps.
Her feng shui was off? Okay.
Have you ever tried to fight a speeding ticket? Good luck. This lady might have a case, though. A grandmother in Ohio named Joanne Gibson recently got 2 tickets in the mail for doing 27 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. The fine was $105. But the weird part is she wasn't driving. And there's proof. An automated traffic camera handed out the ticket, and the footage clearly shows her car hooked up to a tow truck when it happened. The truck driver was the one speeding, but the camera scanned Joanne's plate and issued her the ticket instead. It happened after her van broke down. She says she went to police to show them the mistake. They told her to contact the third-party vendor that operates the camera. Well, she got in touch with some local reporters. They did a story on it. Now the president of her city council is trying to help her get the ticket expunged.
Cops are like, we don't want to deal with it. Go talk to those people.
Kind of angry about it. When I get kind of angry, I want to find out what's really going on. What are they doing? I'm at the center getting this ticket, and my car is on a flatbed. I'm not driving that truck. I don't want anything on my driving license. So far, I have a good record, and I'm going to try and keep it that way.
Yeah, she doesn't want to deal with that. It's not her
She wasn't
fault.
speeding. It was the tow truck that was speeding. In Wyoming, just an absolutely despicable story, where a cruel hunter paraded a tortured wolf around a bar before finally killing it. The terrified creature appears in the sickening image, cowering with sunken eyes and its mouth taped tightly shut with duct tape.
It was alive?
It was alive. He apparently hit the wolf with his snowmobile earlier and then decided to drag it through a local bar as regulars swilled beer before taking it behind the bar, torturing it, and killing it. Now, the president of an animal welfare group calls this guy a monster. They say running over and crushing an animal with a snowmobile, binding the battered and wounded animal's mouth shut, and deciding to further torment the creature in front of an audience rather than putting him out of his misery is the textbook definition of malicious cruelty.
Are they saying he intentionally ran over the wolf, or that it was like an accident?
I think it was an accident.
And then he decided, hey, you know what I'm going to do is I'm a psycho,
right?
And I'm going to bring this
live wolf into a bar,
this injured animal,
right,
and tape its mouth shut, parade it around for a bunch of lunatics,
right,
and then.
But the interesting part about this, now the guy's name is Cody Roberts. He's fined $250 for being in possession of a live wolf. There are no charges for actually killing the animal because that is not illegal in Wyoming.
Well, you want to dispatch the animal if it's injured, right? You hit it with the snowmobile, and if you're a hunter and it's, obviously limping or lame.
Put it out of its misery.
Put it out of its misery, gunshot to the head, whatever that, I get that. That's rule number one, man, but you tape it up and you bring it into the bar and you don't get some kind of charge or anything. I mean, what the hell's wrong? And then people are like, okay with it too?
Yeah, a bunch of people signed a petition in favor of this guy saying, way to go, basically.
That's lunacy. Mm-hmm. Imagine you hit a deer in downtown La Crosse and you bring it into the bar with you after you hit it, Sean. You parade it around for everybody to see.
Put a funny hat on it or something.
Yeah, like, hey, why don't you play the spooky spins, Mr. Bambi boy? You know what I mean? No, dude, come on, man. What are we doing?
And if you watch enough movies, it may seem reasonable to fake your own death to get out of any problems you might be dealing with. But there's a lot more to it than never being seen again. A 39-year-old man in Kentucky named Jesse Kipf has just admitted to attempting to fake his own death, and he gave it a lot of effort. He accessed the Hawaii death registry system using details of a doctor who lived in another state and created a case for his own death. He assigned himself as the medical certifier for his own death and then certified it. Amazingly, that did work. At first, he was listed as deceased in many government databases. Police said he was primarily faking his death to get out of paying more than $100,000 in child support to his ex. It's unclear how he was caught, but it sounds like he may have got a little too happy. He was also accused of opening bank accounts with a false social security number.
Yeah.
Now, this guy could be sent to prison for 30 years, but instead agreed to a plea deal to serve 7 years and pay $500,000 in fines.
I faked it.
What?
Yeah.
You faked it? Why would you do that?
Well, if it's enough already, and I just want to get some sleep.
Got to give the guy credit, Shaw. Doesn't want to pay that child support. Every single month that comes out of your check.
Yeah, well, it's not the kid's fault.
It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Bad news, happy music. Thank you, bud.
Yep.
Talk to you tomorrow. Puddle of Mud now. We'll get to our daily check-ins in just a couple minutes. Visit rockmornings.com to get in touch with us.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com. Head to the website to get in touch with us. Got a text from my guy, Tony. Send me a video of his friend of his with a flamethrower. Said he might let you use it. I'm sure we could figure it out. LOL. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to get that much power inside of my left hand. Pretty sweet, though. See? Look how fun that looks.
That is
a lot of fun. That is exactly what I need in my robot left hand.
I don't think so. Look how long that shoots very far. You don't need flames that far.
That's the best way to keep people away from you. Flamethrower.
How about one of those water things, like the jetpack foot things?
Like a water gun?
Yeah, well, we're like our friend who goes up in the air, Marty. Like one of those things? Yeah. Your hand?
I'd rather have fire than water. Greg says, I would take a Leatherman multi-tool. That way I might stand a chance of someone hiring me to do handiwork or odd jobs. Greg's just out here looking for part-time employment. I got a text from my guy Jim, who owns a gun store, says, I sell flamethrowers. I know you do. Again, we're talking about hypothetical robot hands.
Like you're not looking to go out and purchase one, but you're just carrying around.
Yes,
that would be weird.
If I wanted a flamethrower, I would buy a flamethrower and I would just walk around with it. What I'm talking about is a concept like Iron Man where I have a flamethrower in my robot hand. Yes.
I don't think you could walk around with that down. I don't think you should be in businesses and walking around with a flamethrower. I don't think so.
You know how many times my wife has tried to light candles in the house and the stupid Bic
you can't
lighter
have a
thing doesn't
flamethrower
work?
in the house.
Yeah, you can.
Now you're burning up your furniture. You're burninating the house. That's what's happening.
My new name is Trogdor. Angry Rob says Hank Aaron is the true home run king and not Bonds. That's exactly what I said. And he said, that's nice. The Kenosha Kingfish or Kickers will still lose to the Loggers. They might. I don't know. I don't even think they're playing the Loggers on July 6th, are they? Is it a Logger game?
I didn't see, but I did get a T-shirt.
Somebody texted in they would do condiment dispenser. That's interesting. A little different. Again, if you have...
Mayo, ranch,
unlimited
hot
condiment
sauce,
resources.
ketchup.
Yeah, I mean, think of how many different types of mustard there are. You get access to every kind of mustard.
Stone ground,
Dijon. Horseradish, Dijon, spicy. Yeah,
just straight up yellow.
Doc wants a dart that shoots out some sort of poison dart that paralyzes people for 10 to 15 minutes, so like a short period of time. We had a coworker come in and say, like a skeleton key.
Yeah.
Gets you into any lock.
Any lock.
And he said for nefarious purposes, which appeals to my criminal tendencies, where you could essentially break in.
Open to any...
Yeah, you could get into a bank or a bank vault, right? But bank vaults don't have keys. They have combination locks and computer timers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then you might need like an invisibility
Then you need, yep. Then you gotta,
I mean, then that turns into a whole... Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it a transformer?
Somebody said Mortal Kombat hands.
Oh, like gonna beat you up?
I'm trying to think of
hand, not hands.
Yeah, it's just one hand. Your non-dominant hand becomes a robot hand, and it has one gadget.
What can it do?
Flamethrower. Stick them with it. Versatile, useful, dangerous, deadly. It's got everything.
I'm going with multiple hands. The hand that is multiple hands.
Laverne texted in a universal remote to turn things on or open anything. Garage door opener. Come in handy.
Like drive down places and open everyone's? And then go inside and take their things?
Change the TV station from across the way. Thank you for the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.